showed that the crisis was more complex than often portrayed. He said that the issue of Boko Haram was beyond hunger, adding that his administration employed so many strategies, but it did not work.
Meanwhile, former President Olusegun Obasanjo said Nigerians must begin to ask the necessary questions to be able to deal with the Boko Haram menace, which he said had become a monster. While decrying the lingering insurgency in the country, he said that the Boko Haram insurgency was virtually part of the lives of Nigerians. Obasanjo spoke at the unveiling of the book, Scars, Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Conundrum, authored by a former Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, in Abuja. He therefore called for more critical discussions to prefer solutions to the Boko Haram menace in Nigeria. Obasanjo, however, said that the former CDS showed courage by sharing his insider experience in the war against terrorism in the book for posterity.
Counterfeit, expired, bad and unwholesome pharmaceutical products and consumables valued at over 15 billion naira were on Thursday destroyed by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The exercise, which took place at the Boniya Don site in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, was witnessed by representatives of key security and regulatory agencies. Staff reporter Eleti Ofe was there.
Items destroyed included analgin, cocodamol, codeine cough syrups, tramadol, oxytocin, falsified vaccines, and other unregistered or counterfeit products with a combined straight value of over 15 billion naira. Speaking through the Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Dr. Martins Oluyole, the Director General NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, disclosed that the exercise was part of NAFDAC's renewed commitment to safeguard Nigerians from dangerous and substandard products. She stated that recent enforcement actions led to the interception of a consignment disguised as diclofenac, which was later found to be anti-malaria drugs worth millions of naira. Professor Adeyeye also cited the discovery of illegal factories producing cosmetic products within a military barracks in Lagos, as well as other seizures across the country.
This is another set of almost 80 containers that we are doing in batches. So the more we do this, the more we are inflicting a kind of injury on the people, because it's resources and who are doing it, and the more they will have a change of mind that you can do genuine business and still make money healthily without compromising the health and adding to the health burden of your fellow countrymen.
While acknowledging the collaborative efforts of sister security agencies in the successes recorded, the NAFDAC boss commended the Nigerian Customs Service for handing over 25 containers of seized pharmaceutical products, including tramadol, artesunate injections, and codeine-based syrups, alongside prohibited frozen chicken. She restated the commitment of NAFDAC to ensuring that food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, chemicals, packaged water and beverages consumed in Nigeria are safe, wholesome and effective.
There is no question that drugs are a critical aspect of NAFDAC's mandate, and we have established strict guidelines governing the licensing, the sales, distribution of drug products. Other products marked for destruction today include products mopped up from circulation during raids. The destruction of these products will undoubtedly eliminate the risk of their entry into the Nigerian market.
The Oyo State Director of NAFDAC, Mr. Samuel Adeyemi, reiterated the agency's zero tolerance for substandard and counterfeit products, urging Nigerians to remain vigilant and cooperate with the agency in curbing the activities of the economic saboteurs. The disruption exercise, spearheaded by the NAFDAC, was witnessed by representatives of security and regulatory bodies, including the Nigeria Police Force, Department of State Services, DSS, Nigeria Customs Service, Federal Road Safety Corps, the Oyo State Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, and the Association of Community Pharmacists.
1, 2, 3, go! Leave it. Go back.
Adebayo Abdurrafi, BCOS News.
In another development, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has shut 2 Chinese supermarkets located in the Jabi district and 8 cosmetics shops at Wholesale Market, Abuja, for flagrant violations of extant laws governing the sale, distribution, and labeling of regulated products in Nigeria. NAFDAC disclosed this in a press statement today, signed by the Deputy Director of Public Relations Protocol, Adeboyega Oshiyemi, acting on the directive of the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. The enforcement team confiscated and evacuated offending products worth over 170 million naira. It noted that the enforcement exercise was carried out by the NAFDAC Investigation and Enforcement Directorate and members of the Federal Task Force on Counterfeit and Substandard Medicines and Unwholesome Processed Foods in Abuja, led by the Assistant Chief Regulatory Officer Musa Ibugu-Shieke. NAFDAC highlighted that some of the cosmetics products seized include Winix capsules, Maxman capsules, Bob's enlargement, curvy weight gain, skin whitening vitamin gummies, collagen, royal jelly, whitening gummies, white doll, Dr. Gallery Plus, Mazezake syrup, original herbal yellow fever, sickle cell medicine, Dr. Nafisa herbal medicine, white blinks, among others. Professor Adeyeye reiterated the agency's mandate to protect the health of Nigerians against exposure to dangerous chemicals and toxic substances which are linked to serious health risks, including skin cancer, kidney damage, irritability, and memory loss.
Meanwhile, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has set an 18-month grace period, effectively giving food companies until early 2026 before facing full enforcement of regulations to eliminate industrially produced trans fatty acids, TFA. The initiative, launched as a comprehensive strategy and roadmap for TFA regulation, moves Nigeria from simply having the policy to enforcing its world-class standard. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, emphasized that the roadmap moves the country beyond policy creation to aggressive enforcement and implementation. This was contained in the NAFDAC DG's keynote speech posted on the agency's official X handle today. NAFDAC's action targets a dangerous dietary risk factor strongly linked to cardiovascular disease, stroke, and premature death globally. Adeyeye emphasized the significance of the move beyond technical compliance, noting the removal of industrially produced trans fats from the food chain is not only a technical achievement but a moral imperative.
The Nigeria Customs Service has delivered a significant blow to illegal wildlife trafficking networks, announcing the official handover of seized donkey parts valued at 3.94 billion naira to the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency in Kaduna State. The massive haul contained in a statement issued via Customs official X's handle today was secured by the Federal Operations Unit FOU Zone B, Kaduna, following several coordinated anti-smuggling operations. The formal handover took place on Tuesday in Kaduna, where Controller Aminu Sule, the Customs Area Controller of FOU Zone B, formally presented the exhibits to Mr. Henny Emmanuel, the Nesria State Coordinator. The Nesria State Coordinator, Henny Emmanuel, confirmed receipt of the contraband and commended Customs for the intelligence-led operations. He assured the public that the agency will take immediate legal steps, noting that the agency's primary focus is now on prosecuting the suspects arrested in connection with the seizures to curb the demand that drives the illegal depletion of the nation's donkey population.
This broadcast of New Scope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. Co-curricular activities remain an integral part of learning, completing classroom education, and contributing to the holistic development of students. Beyond academics, such activities help improve creativity, discipline, teamwork, and problem-solving skills, ultimately shaping young people into well-rounded citizens. An educationist, Professor Adams Onuka, made this remark while featuring on the BCS TV Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Faith Adekule, who monitored the program, has the details.
Speaking on the educational sector of Nigeria at 65 on the AM 120 program, an educationist, Professor Adams Onuka, stressed that education should not be confined to textbooks and examinations, emphasizing that by also incorporating co-curricular engagements, students gain essential life skills that strengthen both their intellect and character.
The difference actually between now and then is just the commitment and the prestige, because there was motivation for commitment. You look big, people respected you, people see you, teacher is coming. And in fact, if you are playing and a teacher is coming, you run because you don't want to be caned the following day. Then, as we grew on as a nation, we begin to imitate them. We took much of the discipline away, because whether we like it or not, there is a role that discipline plays.
Professor Onuka noted that many people avoid teaching unless they have a deep passion for it, while issues of inadequate funding and outdated systems continue to limit progress. He stressed that the foundation of education in Nigeria is still shaky, and without solid investment, both in structure and personnel, the sector will continue to struggle in meeting the needs of a changing world.
The problem is that we are lackadaisical. We are no longer resilient. We change our value. Those days, you are talking of honesty, you are talking of integrity, you are talking of actually being proud of being regarded as a honest person. But do we do so now? What do we do now is that whatever gives money, however it comes, and people think the end justify the mean, and that is very wrong. The means you justify the end.
Professor Onuka stated further that boosting the educational system ultimately requires a collective effort, whereby teachers must sharpen their skills and embrace lifelong learning, parents actively investing in their wards' discipline and growth, while the government must provide adequate resources and infrastructure. Faith Adekule, BCS News.
As Nigeria marks 65 years of independence, citizens across the nation are reflecting on the country's journey, assessing the progress made so far and the road that lies ahead. In this report, Olamide Olabi takes a look at the challenges and achievements recorded in the agricultural sector.
Agriculture has always been a vital part of the Nigeria story, especially when it comes to the economy. Over the decades, Nigeria made notable strides in various sectors, with agriculture continuing to serve as a crucial pillar of the growth. From increased investment in farming initiatives to renewed efforts at boosting food security, the sector continues to play a central role in shaping the country's future. However, the journey has not been without challenges. Issues such as inadequate infrastructure, poor access to credit facilities, insecurity in farming communities, and inconsistent government policies have slowed down development in the sector. Speaking with BCS News, the chairman Cocoa Farmers Association Oyo State, Alhaji Saliu Imam, explained that the sector performed better in the past because government investment in agriculture was stronger. He added that although there have been improvements over the years through exposure to technology, more still needs to be done.
just opposite with the earlier years of Nigeria, because agriculture was then a mainstay. And I mean, that was what almost everybody was doing. In fact, government had so much input into agriculture. We built cocoa house, we have pyramids everywhere, but that we don't have anymore. But that's not to say we are not doing agriculture now. Look, I'm proudly a farmer. So what I'm saying is that relatively we are doing fine, but better then. Because people, of course, the population was so low, but now more people are into agriculture. Unfortunately, some of the so-called farmers want, especially the young ones, want quick money, but that's not where you do have quick returns. I mean, but if we take more agriculture as an industry, as a calling, we'll be able to do better.
An agricultural researcher, Dr. Oluyole, also shared his perspective, noting that while Nigeria has made progress, the country is still not where it ought to be in terms of agricultural development. He observed that fewer students are choosing to study agriculture compared to the past, and suggested that incentives should be introduced to make the field more attractive to young people.
We're supposed to have moved from the subsistence type of farming. We're supposed to have introduced more technology, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, to agriculture. But if you check, more than 90, if not 95, 96% of Nigerian farmers still today, they are still using their local way, carrying out the procedure. So, and well, if you look at it, it's not really their fault. Some of them will claim they are mechanized farming, but when you get there, you just see that the only thing they are calling mechanized is just use of tractor. But the current trend now, mechanized is more than use of tractor. Mechanized has to do with how can we move into smart agriculture, how can we move into precision agriculture. It's quite different from we are just using tools. What are the data sets, what are the parameters that we need to consider before we can say, okay, we have food availability.
Both experts appeal to the federal government to increase investment in agriculture to ensure food security, emphasizing the need for a higher budget allocation to the sector, increased support for agricultural research, and the adoption of improved technologies. As the nation looks toward the future, addressing these challenges will be essential to unlocking the full potential of the agricultural sector and ensuring that it contributes meaningfully to Nigeria's overall development. Olamide Owolabi, Business News.
A federal high court sitting in Warri, Delta State, has ordered the Nigeria Police Force and the Inspector General of Police to maintain the status quo in a suit filed by lawyer John Ikpoku Martins challenging the legality of new tinted permit enforcement. The Nigeria Police had earlier revived a tinted permit policy through its digital platform POSAP, citing public complaints of harassment of motorists with factory-fitted tints. Official enforcement commenced in June 2025 after a 30-day grace period, though it was later extended twice, first to August and then to October, to allow motorists more time to comply. The renewed push was defended on security grounds, with the police arguing that criminals often exploit vehicles with opaque glass to evade detection. The legal challenge, however, questions whether the police have acted within the bounds of the Motor Vehicle Prohibition of Tinted Glass Act of 1991, which requires that permits be granted only for good cause, such as medical or security reasons. Ikpoku Martins and other critics contend that the blanket enforcement disproportionately burdens motorists, infringes on constitutional rights to privacy and freedom of movement, and risk of perpetrating harassment by security agents. Civil society groups and the Nigerian Bar Association have also voiced concerns, with the NBA filing a separate suit arguing that the enforcement framework is unconstitutional and riddled with transparency issues.
On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has declared that the United States is engaged in armed conflicts with drug cartels. His administration said in a notice sent to the Congress after recent strikes on boats off Venezuela. The letter, a copy of which was obtained by newsmen on Thursday, is designed as a legal justification for at least 3 recent strikes in international waters that have killed at least 14 people. The Trump administration has deployed several military vessels to the Caribbean Sea to counter drug smugglers amid mounting tensions with Venezuela's leftist president Nicolas Maduro. The notice also describes suspected smugglers as unlawful combatants. The recent U.S. strikes targeted boats allegedly loaded with drugs off the coast of Venezuela, but legal experts have raised doubts about the legality of Washington's actions.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the main points. Ex-President Goodluck Jonathan has revealed that Boko Haram insurgents once nominated former President Muhammadu Buhari to represent them in peace talks with the federal government.
Counterfeit, expired, banned and unwholesome pharmaceutical products as well as consumables valued at over 15 billion naira were on Thursday destroyed by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC.
The Nigeria Customs Service has delivered a significant blow to illegal wildlife trafficking networks, announcing the official handover of seized donkey parts valued at 3.94 billion naira to the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency in Kaduna State.
And President Donald Trump has declared that the United States is engaged in armed conflict with drug cartels. His administration said in a notice sent to Congress after recent strikes on boats off Venezuela.
And that's all from Newscope Desk for now. It was packaged by Bode Akinjola and delivered by
Josephine Oluwabumi. Good evening.
I am Jamila Elegbede. Thank you for listening, and do not forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
The city of Ibadan, the home of ancient warlords, in the Pacesetter state, this is Oluyole FM 98.5 Ibadan.
Oluyole FM. Unjalala. Unjatoroto. Oluyole FM. Okileleti. Oluyole FM Obaradoba Kirisin bí ọmọ àwélé ó jẹ́ gàràgà ní fara olùkọ́yìn tètò tó ń retí ròyìn ní yògbà ajídára bí ìṣù ẹ̀lú fi ká fábẹ́lá tẹ̀ 98.5 FM ìkòkò ọbẹ̀ fún gbogbo ẹlẹgbẹ́ tó kù máa gbọ́ lọ.
àwòdìrè bára wọ́n ṣe bẹ́yẹ ti kú àṣẹ àgbo òkùnkùn lájà tó tàdé mọ́yìn agbára lọ mú wá lákọ̀tún lórí àkàgbádùn ni àjọmọ́ pàdé dámúdámú yàtọ̀ ségun sàpànà sàgó yàtọ̀ sóòsà mádìgbòdò mi wọ́n pọ̀ lọ́kùnrin kùkùlájà dé lórí àkàgbádùn pẹ̀lú látìlẹ́yìn adẹ́dà ẹni tó wí lẹ́ẹ̀kan tí mo gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀mejì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ a máa pàdé ní ọjọ́ ọjọ́rú Wednesday láago 7:30 lálẹ́ àtúwátúmọ̀ gbé lákọ̀tún ní ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ ọjọ́ ẹtì láago 2:00 lálẹ́ bákan náà tọ̀tẹ̀ yìí yàtọ̀ gbọ́gbọ́dẹ̀ kan sí.
Yàrá.
Mo tún gbé dé èyí yàtọ̀ títún tí mo tún gbé dé.
Gbọ̀tún yọ gbòsì yọ ká gbàgede méjì yọ fúnfún ètò ìyára tó yọ bí òṣùmàrè Yorùbá mọ̀ ló pàṣàmọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ kan wọ́n ní ká jẹ ń tá a bá rí wọ́n ló sàn ju kébi ọ̀pá ni kú lọ ẹ gbọ́ ṣó sì yọmọlúàbí bẹ́ẹ̀ eléyìí lára tó yí wọnú àrà tẹ́ bá wa dá sí o ká tó kan labala tí ń ti orí ìròyìn abala àlejò ní gbangba tá ti ta gbangba níbi tẹ́ ti pàdé àlejò tí múṣemúṣe rẹ̀ dá múṣemúṣe ọ̀mọ̀wé Khadijat Alárápé onímọ̀ nípa oúnjẹ aṣaralóore tí wọ́n sì mọ̀ fi máa jìnlẹ̀ fèsì sáwọn ìbéèrè tó jẹ mọ́ kókó ọ̀rọ̀ ta pè ní ọ̀nà tá ń gbà ṣàwọn oúnjẹ lọ́jọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tó ń ṣàkóbá fàgọ́ ara wa wọ́n làwọn kan ti torí ọjà tó ń wọlé mọ́lẹ́mọ́ kó àwọn tẹnu oúnjẹ pamọ́ pẹ̀lú dídá àwọn nǹkan tó léwu fàgọ́ ara sínú wọn kí wọ́n lè bá àtọ́jọ́ ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí lóòótọ́ irú àwọn oúnjẹ wo gan ló ń wáyé fún bẹ́ẹ̀ irú àwọn nǹkan wo sì ni wọ́n ń dà sínú wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bá wá jẹrúfẹ́ oúnjẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ irúfẹ́ ìwúwo ló ní lágọ̀ọ́ ara ọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ pọ̀ ń bẹ̀ ẹ ṣàpàdé wa lọ́jọ́ ìsinmi láago 6 àárọ̀ sáago 7 fábàlà àkọ́kọ́ àti láago 7 àárọ̀ sáago 8 fábàlà àlejò níkànnì 98.5 Oluyole FM 96.3 Òkè-Ògùn FM 92.1 Ajílétí FM lórí tẹlifíṣàn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àti lórí ìtàkùn àgbáyé abala eré ìdárayá ńkọ́ Wálé Àìkí ń bẹ bí àbà yóò sì tún gbá yagiyagi yíyàrá eégún tí ó tàbí ilébi òsí àfi tí ó bá ṣubú yakata lógún ẹ kú ojú lọ́nà.
Oluyole FM 98.5 kíkéde ọjà rẹ kó lè kún níbàárà rẹ la.
The city of Ibadan, the home of ancient warlords, in the Pace-Setter state, this is Oluyole FM 98.5 Ibadan.
Yes, excited to truly back on the MIC to talk sports on this amazing frequency. My name is Matthew Okugbe, bidding you welcome to another episode of Sports Roundup, precisely the weekend's edition of the show. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank God for life. We thank God for health. So much making the rounds in the world of sports, and we are back once again to bring you up to speed just the way it should be. We go on a break, and when we return, we say proper. Stick around.
Bro, I'm really tired of being in the friend zone.
Why? It's lovely.
You can't be serious.
100%. Take Shadi for example. She's strictly a friend. She mentioned my name